Welcome to you all for the class of Discrete Mathematical Structures 18 CS 36, Module 3 Relations and Functions. In Module 3 Relations and Functions, I'll be discussing a topic in extremal elements in posets. Myself, Dr. Madhura, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. The topic is extremal elements in posets. Consider a poset A, R. We define some special elements called extremal elements that may exist in A. We consider a poset A, R, and some of the special elements are defined here, which are called as the extremal elements that are existing for the set A. First one, an element A belonging to set A is called a maximal element if there exists no x in A other than A such that A is related to x. That is, A is called the maximal element if and only if in Hasse diagram of R, no edge starts at A. So we will be able to recognize a maximal element from the set A such that it satisfies the condition there is no edge starting from that element A. So that is how we can recognize the maximal element A, and it belongs to the set A for us. It has to satisfy the condition that the element whatever you choose as the maximal element should be related to x, where x is an element in the set A. Second one, an element A belonging to the set A is called a minimal element if there exists no x in A other than A, the element A, such that x is related to A. That is, A is said to be the minimal element if and only if in Hasse diagram of R, no edge terminates at A. So no edge should be ending at the element A to say that the element A is the minimal element. Next, we can see the definition for greatest element. An element A belonging to the set A is called a greatest element of the set A if x is related to A for every x belonging to the set A. So every element x belonging to the set A should be related to the element A, which we are calling as the greatest element. In other words, all elements of set A should be related to A. All the elements of the set A should be related to that element A. If at all we have to say A is the greatest element. Next, about the least element we are talking about. An element A belonging to set A is called a least element of the set A if A is related to X. A is related to X. For every X belonging to A, we should have the element A is related to X. Then we can say that the element A is the least element. In other words, we can say that A should be related to all elements of the set A. If the element small letter A is related to all the elements of the set A, then we can conclude that the element A is the least element of that particular set. Next is about upper bound. Upper bound. Let B be a subset of A, then an element A belonging to the set A is called an upper bound of B if X is related to A for every X belonging to the set B. So we define that, suppose we consider a set B which is a subset of the set A. Then an element A belonging to the set A is called the upper bound. That element A we denote it as the upper bound if it satisfies the condition that X is related to A for every X belonging to the subset B. In other words, all elements of subset B should be related to element A. All the elements of the subset B should be related to the element A which belongs to the set A. Sixth one is about lower bound. Let B be a subset of A. Then an element A belonging to the set A is called a lower bound of B if A is related to X for every X belonging to the subset B. So here again we consider a subset B which is a subset of the main set A. We denote an element A belonging to the set A is said to be the lower bound if it satisfies the condition A is related to X. A is related to X for every X belonging to the set B. In other words, element A belonging to the set A should be related to all the elements of the subset B. Next, we will know about least upper bound, that is supremum of B. Suppose B is a subset of A, then an element A belonging to the set A is called the least upper bound, LUB, least upper bound, or the supremum of B if it satisfies the following two conditions. Firstly, A should be an upper bound of B. Firstly, it has to be upper bound. Then A dash, if A dash is also an upper bound of B, then A should be related to A dash. So you will collect another upper bound and we relate it in this manner that if A is related to A dash, then we say that these two conditions, if it is satisfying, then we can conclude that the element A is the least upper bound or the supremum of B. Next, suppose B is a subset of A, then we say that the element A is called the greatest lower bound, GLB, greatest lower bound, or the infimum of B if it satisfies the following two conditions. Firstly, the element A should be the lower bound of B. The element A is the lower bound of B. And secondly, if A dash is also a lower bound of B, then A dash should be related to A. A dash is another lower bound of B. It should be related to A. If these conditions satisfy, then we say that the element A is the greatest lower bound or the infimum of B. So with all these definitions on the extremal elements in POSET, we'll be able to do problems, and while doing problems, I'll make things more understandable. Now let us see problems on extremal elements in POSET. Problems. First question. For the POSET A, R, for the POSET A, R represented by the following Hasse diagrams. By the following Hasse diagrams, find Find firstly maximal, second one minimal, third one greatest, and fourth one least element or elements. Sometimes it will be more than one element, or sometimes it will be just only one single element. And there also arises the case that there is no greatest element or no least element at all, something like that. Okay. So the Hasse diagrams are given in each of the four sub questions that I would like to do. Right. I have taken up the Hasse diagram. So given the Hasse diagram, we need to find out the maximal, minimal, greatest and the least element. Okay. So we will do it one by one. So the first sub question in that, the Hasse diagram is given for us. I'll name the vertices of each of these here. The bottommost is 1. Then in the next line we have 2, 3. In the next line we have 4. Then at the top we have 5 and 6. So these are the vertices named for us. Okay. So I will consider each of the sub questions separately, and for each of them I will do the solution and then proceed further for the next one. Okay. So let us see solution for the same. Solution for the first one I am doing. We need to find out the maximal element, minimal element, least element and the greatest element for the same. Right? We will do one by one. Now, which are the maximal elements? So, recalling the definition for maximal element, we say that an element A belonging to the set A is said to be maximal element if there exists no x in A other than the element A such that A is related to x. It is one and the same as, or easy way of understanding is, no edge should start from the element A. No edge should start from the element A to say that A is the maximal element. So recalling the definition, we will be able to say that 5 and 6 are the maximal elements here. Right? 5 and 6 are the maximal elements, because we observe that there are no elements starting from 5 and 6. There are no edges starting from 5 and 6. Recall, how do we read the Hasse diagram? We read the Hasse diagram always from bottom to up. So there is an edge from 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 3 to 4, correct? There is also an edge from 1 to 4, 1 to 5 due to the transitivity property. There is also an edge from 1 to 6, correct? So 5 to nowhere we have an edge. Similarly 6 to nowhere we have an edge. So 5 and 6 are the maximal elements. Reason being is because or since no edge starts at 5 and then 6. 5 comma 6. That is why 5 and 6 are the maximal elements. Sometimes what happens, writing down the relation R will be easy for some of you. So if you feel like writing down the relation R for the same, you can write down. Just for this example, I will show how to write down the relation R from the Hasse diagram. So let us write down the relation R here just for convenient purpose. Right? So 1 to 1, the loops are obvious from each of the elements. So 1 comma 1 is obvious. 1 2, 1 3, 1 4 due to transitivity property, 1 5, and then finally 1 6. Starting from 1. Correct? We will write down all those ordered pairs. 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6. These are the elements starting from 1. Then starting with 2, loop is obvious. So 2 comma 2. In the Hasse diagram, we don't show them explicitly, but loop is obvious. 2, 2. We don't read 2 comma 1. We never read the Hasse diagram from top to bottom. So it is not 2 comma 1 in the relation R. So after 2, 2, we have 2, 4, 2, 5 and 2, 6. 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. Then starting with 3, again loop is obvious. So 3 comma 3. Then we have 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6. Then starting with 4, loop is obvious. So 4 comma 4. Then we only have 4 comma 5. Starting with 4, it is 4, 4 and then 4, 5, 4, 6. 4, 6. Then with 5, loop only. 5 comma 5 only. We see that 5 is not related to any other element. So that is why it is only 5 comma 5. Lastly, 6 comma 6. 6 comma 6. So these are the ordered pairs in the relation R for the given Hasse diagram. Correct, no? So keeping this in mind, you observe that 5 is related to 5 only and 6 is related to 6 only. You cannot find out any other element from the set A, where A consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You cannot find out any other element X such a way that A is related to X. So 5 is not related to any other elements of the set A. Similarly, 6 is not related to any other elements of the set A. That is why 5 and 6 are the maximal elements. Since no edge starts at 5 and no edge starts at 6. So that is how we write down the maximal element. Now next we have to find out the minimal element. No edge should terminate from that vertex. No edge is terminating at a particular vertex means then that vertex is called as the minimal element. So we observe that 1 is the minimal element because no edge is coming towards 1 and terminating at 1. No edge is terminating at 1. That is the reason 1 is the minimal element. Here 1 is the minimal element. 1 is the minimal element since no edge terminates at 1. No edge terminates at 1. That is the reason 1 is the minimal element. Next we have to find out the greatest element and the least element. Okay. So we observe that there is no greatest element at all. Since, we'll recall the definition again for greatest element first. It says that if all the elements of the set A are related to any particular element A, then we say that element A is the greatest element. All the elements of the set A should be related to that one particular element. Suppose you feel like 5 and 6 are the greatest elements. It is not so. It is not so because you observe that 6 is not related to 5 and that is in the same manner 5 is not related to 6. So you cannot say that 5 and 6 are also as the greatest elements. So definition says that all the elements of the set A should be related to that particular element, small letter A, if you have to say that A is the greatest element. So there is no greatest element here. No greatest element for the given Hasse diagram. No greatest element for the given Hasse diagram because you can quote the reason. Always quoting down the reason helps you a lot. No elements of the set A are related to, I can quote the reason that 6 is not related to 5. 6 is not related to 5. So that is the reason no greatest element. It says that every element of the set A should be related to that element. So you cannot say 5 or 6 as the greatest element. So 6 is not related to 5. We can as well quote the reason 5 is also not related to 6. So you cannot conclude or look into like feel like 5 or 6 as the greatest elements. Next we have 1 is the least element. Why 1 is the least element we will look into. So why 1 is the least element is we see that 1 is related to all the elements of the set A. 1 is obviously related to 1 itself, 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to 3. Due to transitivity property, 1 is related to 4, 1 is related to 5, as well as 1 is related to 6. So the element 1 is related to all the elements of the set A. That is the reason 1 is the minimal element. You can just quote the reason because 1 is related to all the elements of the set A. So that is how we find out the maximal elements, minimal elements, and then greatest element and the least element. Okay. So which are our answers here? Our answers are 5 and 6 are the maximal elements, and then we have 1 as the minimal element. 1 is the minimal element, and there is no greatest element for the same, and finally 1 is the least element. 1 is nothing but the least element also. So if you know the definitions of all the extremal elements in POSET, we will be able to do for any given Hasse diagram. Okay, we'll see second problem. Second problem, B question I will take. I will draw the Hasse diagram and we need to find out the maximal element, minimal element, greatest and the least element for the given Hasse diagram. So this is the Hasse diagram given for us. I will name the vertices and then we will find out one by one. So these are the vertices for us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The elements of the Hasse diagram, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are nothing but the set A here. Set A. Okay. If you feel like writing down the relation R for this, you can write down. Else we can directly do it also. So we will quote one by one now. We have to find out maximal, minimal, greatest and the least element. Yes. Now we will find out one by one maximal element first. We observe that no edge starts at 3 and no edge starts at 5. So since no edge starts at 3 and 5, 3 and 5 are the maximal elements. Right? So first one, 3, 5 are the maximal elements. Maximal elements. Since no edge starts at 3 as well as at 5. No edge starts at 3 as well as at 5. So 3 and 5 are the maximal elements. Then secondly, about the minimal element. Minimal element, all elements or sometimes no element at all. Right? So we observe that no edges terminating at 1 and no edges terminating at 6. So 1 and 6 are the minimal elements. No edge should terminate at 1 and 6. So no edge is coming from anywhere to 1 and then anywhere to 6. So that is the reason 1 and 6 are the minimal elements. 1, 6 are the minimal elements since since no edge terminates at 1 as well as terminates at 6. So that, that is the reason 1 and 6 are the minimal elements. Now coming down to greatest element and the least element. Right? There are no greatest element and the least element here. Why? Because see, definition for greatest elements is that all the elements should be related to that one particular element, which you are saying as a greatest. All the elements should be related to that one element. So you cannot say 3 as the greatest element because 5 is not related to 3 if you observe. Right? 1 is related to 3, 2 is related to 3, 4 is related to 3, 6 is related to 3. All elements should have been related to 3, but 5 is not related to 3. That is the reason 3 is not the greatest element. In the same manner, 5 is not the greatest element because we observe 1 is related to 5, 2 is not related to 5. You cannot come down like this to relate to 5. So 2 is not related to 5. Similarly, you observe 3 is not related to 5. That is the reason we don't have any greatest elements. Similarly, if you observe, there are no least elements at all. You cannot say 1 and 6 as the least elements again here. What is the definition for least element? The element which you are calling as the least element, it should be related to all the elements of the set A. So if I have to say that 1 is the least element, then 1 should have been related to all the elements of the set A. We observe 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4 as well as 1 is related to 5. But 1 is not related to 6. You cannot come down any moment in a Hasse diagram. The graph is coming down here. So it is not that 1 is related to 6. No, 1 is not related to 6. So that is the reason we cannot say that 1 is the least element. In the same manner, you cannot say 6 is the least element. So for the given Hasse diagram, there are no greatest elements and no least elements. There are no greatest and least elements. Whenever it comes to greatest, there are no greatest or no least element. You need not quote the reason. You just have to understand that there are no greatest and the least element and write the same thing. Whenever you are saying that any particular element is the greatest or the least element, it's always preferable to write down along with the reason. Now the third one I will take up. Third one, given the Hasse diagram, we have to find out maximal, minimal, greatest and the least element. So we can write down the Hasse diagram first. We'll have to name the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the topmost is 5. So we need to find out the maximal, minimal, greatest and the least element. We'll just find out them one by one. Now which is the maximal element here? Definition for maximal element, no edge should start at that element to say it is maximal. So 5 is the maximal element here because we observe that there is no edge starting from 5. No edge starts at 5. That is the reason 5 is the maximal element. Maximal element is 5. Five is the maximal element since no edge starts at 5. Similarly, which is the minimal element now? The definition for minimal element is no edge should terminate at a particular vertex to say that it is the minimal element. So we observe 1 is the minimal element because no edges terminating at 1. So that is why 1 is the minimal element. 1 is the minimal element since no edge terminates at 1. No edge terminates at 1 and hence 1 is the minimal element. Next we have to find out greatest and the least element. Greatest and the least element. Recall the definition for greatest element. Greatest element says that all the elements of the set A should be related to that one vertex which is said to be the greatest element. So we observe that 1 is related to 5, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 5, 4 is related to 5. And obviously 5 is related to 5, which is a loop obvious in the Hasse diagram. So since all the elements of the set A are related to 5, we can say that 5 is the greatest element. So third one, 5 is the greatest element. 5 is the greatest element since 1 is related to 5, 2 is related to 5, 3 is related to 5, 4 is related to 5 and the loop 5 is related to 5. So we can say that 5 is the greatest element. And finally, the least element. Is 1 the least element? Yes, 1 is the least element because 1 is related to all the elements of the set A. Any element A belonging to the set A, you can say as the least element if that element A is related to all the elements of the set A. So 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4 and 1 is related to 5. That is why 1 is the least element. So 1 is the least element. 1 is the least element since 1 is related to all the elements. 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4 and finally 1 is related to 5 also. So this is how we do the problems based on maximal, minimal, least and the greatest element. I will leave to the students to try one of the problem here. I'll give the Hasse diagram. You have to find out the minimal, maximal, least and the greatest elements for the same. Okay, so you can just make a note of the Hasse diagram. Try doing this, which will help you to have a better clarity. Vertices should be named. Vertices naming usually will be given to you. So we have the bottommost as A, the upper one is B, C, D, and we have E and F at the topmost. Find out maximum, minimal, greatest and the least elements for this. You can make a note of one more Hasse diagram for having better clarity. Try out for this also. We'll name the vertices. We'll see the next problem. Second one. Consider the Hasse diagram. Consider the Hasse diagram of a poset A comma R and the subset B in the following cases. Find if they exist. You can write down if they exist within bracket. Find if they exist. First one, all upper bounds of B, all upper bounds of the subset B. Secondly, all lower bounds of the subset B, Then third one, LUB of B, and fourth one, GLB of B. So what are these LUB and GLB? Least upper bound and the greatest lower bound of the subset B. So I'll again consider different Hussey diagrams given for us. They are the sub-questions we can understand. So for each of those Hussey diagram and the given subset B, we have to find out upper bounds, lower bounds, LUB and GLB of the subset B. Okay. So A part of the question I will consider first. Given the Hussey diagram for us, we can just write down the Hussey diagram given. We'll have to name the vertices. Bottommost is AB, then above it C, then we have D, E, above it F, and finally G, H at the topmost. So this is the given Hussey diagram, and given subset B for us, you can write down the subset B. B is given as C, D, E. C, D, E. So this is the given subset for us. So we'll have to find out all lower bounds, all upper bounds, LUB and GLB of the subset B. Okay, we will do with one by one. So solution for the same, I will write down first one. First one is to find out all upper bounds of B. Correct? So what is the definition for upper bound? We will recall the definition for upper bound. So any element A belonging to the set A is said to be upper bound if X is related to A. That is, all the elements of the subset B should be related to that one element A which belongs to the set A. See, there can be more than one upper bound also, and there can be more than one lower bound also. Okay, so we have to just see to it that all the elements of the subset B, that is C, D, E, all the elements C, D, E should be related to the element or elements. Then we can say those element or elements are the upper bounds of the subset B. So we observe that each of the elements C, D, E of the subset B, that is C, D, E, are related to F. No, C is related to F, D is related to F, E is related to F. So F is one of the upper bound. Similarly, can we say C is related to G, D is related to G, E is related to G. C, D, E, all the three are related to G. That is why G is another upper bound. In the same manner, H is also the upper bound because C is related to H, D is related to H, E is related to H. So like this, all the elements of the subset B should be related to that element which you are calling as the upper bound. Okay, so we will write down the solution for the same. We observe that, we see that all of C, D, E, this which are in B, which are in the subset B are related to F, G, H. Therefore, F, G, H are the upper bounds of the subset B. F, G, H are the upper bounds of the subset B because each of the elements of the subset B, that is C, D, E, all of them are related to F, G, H. That is why F, G, H are the upper bounds of B. Now second one, lower bounds. Lower bounds. So we observe, we recall the definition for lower bound. The element that you are calling as the lower bound should be related to all the elements of the subset B. Right? So can I say the A is related to C, D, E? A is related to C, D, E, no? So we can conclude that A is one of the lower bound. Similarly, B is another lower bound because B is related to C, D, E. So B is the another lower bound. We observe B is related to C, B is related to D, and B is related to E. So B is another lower bound. We also have one more lower bound, which is C. C is another lower bound because C is related to itself. A loop is obvious in the Hasse diagram. C is related to D and C is related to E. So whichever the element you are calling as the lower bound or lower bounds, they all should be related to every element of the subset B. So here the elements A, B, C are related to all the elements of the subset B. So that is why A, B, C are the lower bounds of B. We'll write down the same thing. The elements A, B, C are related to all the elements of the subset B. All the elements means C, D, E are the elements that are there in the subset B. Therefore, A, B, C are the lower bounds. Are the lower bounds of B. This is how we find out upper bound and the lower bound. Now next is least upper bound and the greatest lower bound. So least upper bound and the greatest lower bound we will understand. We'll recall the definition for least upper bound now. So definition for least upper bound says that any element A which you call it as the least upper bound should satisfy two conditions. Firstly, it should be an upper bound of the subset B, and secondly, another upper bound say A dash arises such that A is related to A dash. A should be related to A dash. So which are all our upper bounds now? We have already found out upper bounds now. F, G, H are the upper bounds for us. So among F, G, H, one of them can be the least upper bound. One of them can be the least upper bound, or there can be no least upper bound at all. LUB. No LUB at all can arise, or one of them can be the LUB. Okay, least upper bound. So let us check now whether F is the least upper bound. F becomes the least upper bound if it satisfies the condition that F is related to the remaining upper bounds. Yes, F is related to G, F is related to H. So I can say that F is the least upper bound of B. Right? We will write down the same thing now. So third subpart of the question. The upper bound F of the subset B is related to the other upper bounds G and H of the subset B. Therefore, f is the least upper bound of B, which can be symbolically written as LUB of the subset B equal to f. Similarly, fourth one. So before I go to fourth one, I would like to repeat this least upper bound. Hope you have followed. Among f, g, h, one of them can be the least, or no least upper bound can arise. Okay. So f, g, h, among f, g, h, I have to search for one of them. So first I will check with f. That element f, if you are saying as the LUB, then it should be related to other upper bounds. That is, f is related to g, f is related to h. If such thing happens, then we can say that it is the least upper bound. LUB of B is f. Similarly, now we are trying to find out GLB, greatest lower bound. So firstly, it should be the lower bounds. Which are the lower bounds here? A, B, C are the lower bounds for us. So among A, B, C, one of them can be the greatest lower bound, or sometimes what happens? There is no lower bound at all. Okay. So let us check whether A is the greatest lower bound. Definition says that it should be a lower bound firstly, and other lower bounds, say A dash, should be related to A. A is a lower bound here, but it is not the greatest lower bound because the other lower bounds B and C are not related to A. Other lower bounds should be related to A, then only we can say that it is the greatest lower bound. So here A is not the greatest lower bound. Similarly, B is not the greatest lower bound because A and C are not related to B. Can we say C as the greatest lower bound? Yes, C is the greatest lower bound because we observe that the other lower bounds, that is A and B, both are related to C. So A is related to C, B is related to C. That is why we can conclude that C is the greatest lower bound of the subset B. We can write down the same thing now. The lower bounds A and B, the lower bounds A and B of the subset B are related to the lower bound C, lower bound C of B. Therefore, C is the greatest lower bound of B, which is symbolically written as GLB of B equal to C. GLB of B equal to C. So we'll see another problem on upper bounds, lower bounds, GLB and LUB to have more clarity. B question. Can write down the Hasse diagram first. This is the Hasse diagram given for us. We will name the vertices. So I have 1 at the bottom, above it 2, above it 3 and 4, and at the top we have 5 and 6. So these are the vertices in the Hasse diagram. Now we have to find out all upper bounds, all lower bounds, LUB and GLB of the subset B. Let us write down what is the subset B given for us. It is given as 3, 4 and 5. 3, 4, 5. Let us do the solution for the same. Solution, finding out one by one. First one, we have to do all upper bounds of B. Recall again the definition for upper bound. All the elements of the subset B should be related to that element A, which you are calling as the upper bound. All the elements of the subset B, that is 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, all of them should be related to that element which you are saying as the upper bound. 3 is related to 5, 4 is related to 5, as well as 5 is related to 5. Correct, no? 3 is related to 5, 4 is related to 5, 5 is related to 5. So can we say 5 as one of the upper bound? Yes, we can say 5 as one of the upper bound. Is 6 also a upper bound? 6 is not a upper bound. 3 is related to 6, 4 is related to 6. Whereas the next subset, that is 5, in the subset B, you have 5 also, no? 5 is not related to 6. So we cannot say 6 as the upper bound. Every element of the subset B should be related to that element which you are calling as the upper bound. So we conclude 5 is the upper bound. 5 is the upper bound since 3 is related to 5, 4 is related to 5, 5 is related to 5. I have to take all elements of subset B should be related to the element which you are saying as A. All elements of the subset B is related to 5. So that is the reason 5 is the upper bound. Next, coming on to lower bounds of B. Definition says that for lower bound, the element which you are calling as the lower bound, it should be related to all the elements of the subset B. All the elements of the subset B. So 3, 4, 5 are the elements of the subset B. No? From the Hasse diagram, we observe that 1 is related to 3, 4 as well as 5. So can I say 1 is one of the lower bound? 1 is one of the lower bound because 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4, 1 is related to 5. Similarly, you can observe that 2 is related to 3, 2 is related to 4, 2 is related to 5. So that is why 1 and 2 are the lower bounds. You cannot say 3 as the lower bound because 3 is not related to 4. Again, 4 is not a lower bound because 4 is not related to 3. So that's why only 1 and 2 are the lower bounds because both 1 and 2 are related to every element of the subset B. So we'll write on the same thing. 1, 2 are the lower bounds. 1, 2 are the lower bounds since 1 is related to 3, 1 is related to 4, 1 is related to 5, as well as 2 is related to 3, 2 is related to 4, 2 is related to 5. So that's how we find out upper bounds and the lower bounds. Coming on to the third sub-question, third one, you have to find out LUB, least upper bound of B. Least upper bound of B. Now we will mark which are our upper bounds. We have only one upper bound of 5. 5 is the only upper bound. Okay. Now definition for LUB says that you have to relate that element A which you are choosing as the LUB. You have to relate A to every other lower bounds. There are no other upper bounds at all to relate. There are no other upper bounds at all to relate. Definition says that you have to relate that element A which you are calling as the least upper bound. It should be related to all other upper bounds of the given Hasse diagram. Correct? So in order to say that there is no other element, 5 is the only upper bound which is existing. There are no other upper bounds to relate. There are no other upper bounds to relate at all. So this particular Hasse diagram has no LUB of B. So there is no least upper bound of the subset B for the given Hasse diagram. Hope you have followed this. Next, fourth one, we have to find out GLB, greatest lower bound. So I have two lower bounds. That is 1 and 2 are the lower bounds. No, 1 and 2 are the lower bounds. So among 1 and 2, let us check which is the greatest lower bound. So since there are more than one existing, I might have a GLB. Okay. So to check that, we will recall the definition. The element which you are saying as the greatest lower bound, it should satisfy the condition that any other lower bound should be related to that particular element which you are calling as a GLB. So here we observe that 2 is the greatest lower bound. 2 is the greatest lower bound because another lower bound, that is 1, is related to 2. A dash is related to A is the condition. A dash is the other lower bound that is existing. So A dash is nothing but 1. 1 is related to 2. That is why 2 is the greatest lower bound. So GLB of 2 is equal to GLB of the set B is equal to 2. GLB of the set B is equal to 2. Since other lower bound, that is 1, is related to 2. Other lower bound is 1. 1 is related to 2. That is why 2 is the greatest lower bound. So this is how we find out upper bounds, lower bounds, GLB and the LUB of the subset B for the given Hasse diagram. I'll just give one more problem for the students to work out and try doing or getting upper bounds, lower bounds of the GLB and LUB of the same. So you can just try out the next one. See question I am giving. Hasse diagram is given as well as the subset B is given for us. So this is the Hasse diagram given for us. We will name the vertices and write on the subset B. Bottommost we have AB. Above it we have CD, then we have E, uppermost F and G. And the subset B is given as C, D, E. C, D, E is the subset B. For this subset B, you have to find out upper bounds, lower bounds, LUB and GLB. Hope you have followed these problems on extremal elements in POSET. Thank you for watching.